This is the Maturity Project. I'm your host, Sir Chad Broshears to some. If you know, you know. Chad Broshears to the rest. Hey, all right. So, some updates on some things that I think are pretty interesting. And again, to frame the way that I like this particular education and this content to go out is really just setting out to just lead by example. Do things that help support other people into seeing things differently and seeing possibilities whenever they really feel painted into a corner, even if it's not necessarily this moment, but painted into a corner based off of the decisions we've made that we can realize up until this point, not just this moment where you're like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's everything that led up to that. I've talked about it before and several times. It's not the event that's the problem. Where people are like, yeah, but this thing happened, and it was the worst, and I just can't ever let this thing happen again. Well, we have 3 different ways of handling situations like that. One's avoidance. You learn nothing with avoidance other than just how to avoid, be evasive to a lesson. Life's trying to teach it. And it's because you lack the adequate skill sets necessary to be successful with the challenge presented in front of you. And if you avoid it, guess what? It's coming back. And it's coming back in many different faces and forms. Because its skill sets are, they have a utility that exceeds the moment's needs. It goes into all kinds of things that are needed for the future. So if you want, let me finish these up and I'll get to if you want statement. So then there's the take it on to survive. I just have to take this challenge on. And who else is going to do it? Man, I really just gotta really overcome this thing. The example that I've given is, you've got a bill due on, Wednesday, but payday's Friday, and you just don't have anything to accomplish that. You just don't have anything at all, and you can't let this bill be late. The survive model is, you may need to go sell something, or you're going to hustle real hard to try to just get something done, or, even if you have to borrow money from somebody and use some of your community credit value, community capital, if you will, to find a way to get that money. But that's more of the survive model, which is you can learn how to survive better, but there's not a thrive value in that if that's where you end it. You don't look at what got you into that situation. You just look at the situation and go, I can make it through this. There's no study about what got you there. So thing happened. Whatever thing is, and you put that thing into a category of something. And that's it, right? So you see that thing coming, you're like, oh, we got to watch out for that. We got to, get ready again. I got to overcome this. Survive. Then you have the thrive model. And the thrive model is the assessment of whatever has led you to that place, because you're going to not only overcome the challenge now, which is, you may have to go through survival in order to do it. And that's often not that's common. But this thrive is in excess of the survive, which is, the thrive is, okay, I need to learn how I got here. I need to overcome this by being able to work through it, because you're not going to avoid it, and you're not just trying to make the bill, get the bill paid. You're working on making sure that you have extra in the account, in a specific amount of money, whatever that is, if it be about money. And that has to do with the skill sets. That's not the event. And you're not waiting for a windfall for the lottery to come through for you, because if you are, there's a pretty good chance it will never happen for you. If you're waiting for fortune to favor you, well, what are you doing to develop yourself in order for fortune to be advantageous for you? It's happening all the time, all around you, always. Opportunities are always happening. It's just, how can you see it? And if you don't see it, it doesn't occur to you. So therefore, you don't think it's happening. Continue to work on yourself, and you get the opportunity to start seeing things more, seeing more opportunities for growth and goal accomplishment. That's in the thrive model. Thrive model is based on who you are, your skill sets currently, and it looks to the skill sets that got you into the situation you're currently in. It is not one that's just, oh, I'm going to survive and I'm going to figure out how to get over this thing now. It's like, hey, what can I do to better myself? How can I develop in a way that this is not a challenge again in the future? That's the three different models of dealing with situations or challenges. It's up to you how you want to do it. For me, I'm addressing it to find out what I can do, what skills I have that led me to that point, and what can I develop, and what I know about developing it, what do I not know about developing it, and then, being open to the things that I don't know. And I'm constantly out for that opportunity. I look at challenges as a beautiful opportunity for what's in the future for us. So let's grow up, man. That's what we face whenever it comes to that. So if you want 3 easy steps to dealing with challenges, well, I got you. So what are the first ones? Understand how you deal with challenges. Do you avoid? Do you get into a survive model? Or do you go for the thrive model? Don't go for the one that sounds good. Go for the one that you actually use. And then how can you get to the one you really want? Secondly, what the hell do you know about it all anyway? Are you working on yourself? Do you know how to self-assess? So assess who you are in the most simplest version. Now, what role did you play in what just happened? Get some footing so you can understand what to do and how to pivot and how to move forward from there. And third, how do you deal with overcoming that challenge? Do you sit down? Do you just wait until something else comes along? Do you take a break? What do you do? Do you have the conditioning to make work seem like the only option? If you look at work as being more of like an entertaining value, man, you are on an awesome road. You're on one that's going to have a lot of accomplishments when you get everything else lined up and organized, the other 7 areas of maturity. You're going to have an awesome success story. That's the thing about all of this. I want to build those awesome success stories with people. Just insights. That's what I offer. My resource is insights. And I'm not saying these are the best insights in the world either. Come along and play with the journey with me. Because at the end of the day, the majority of us feel like we've been lied to. And sure, you have been. You've been lied to by society. You've been lied to by your parents. You've been lied to by a bunch of people. Or you've been lied to by the people that convince you've been lied to. Not me. Directly. I'm not saying that to come back to some sort of weird Alice in Wonderland twist. No. You got marketers that tell you to buy things. You've got industries that tell you that if you want to have a successful future, you get a college degree. So you got the loan industry, and there's a pretty big industry surrounding college loans and things. You have things that are benefiting from you buying into it. And the more dissatisfied you are, the more products they have to sell. Satisfied person does not buy a lot. Like, there really aren't a lot of companies out there targeting Buddhist monks and trying to sell things to them. They're not something that's very economical because they're centered people. They don't need much. They're happy. They find pleasure in existence by the way that they choose to exist. So you're not going to be like, hey, by the way, you're hungry and in a bind, stop by this fast food place. It's not in their culture. It's not in their society. They're not those people. They're pretty centered. And then you have us. Stress over everything. Stress over driving, stress over relationships, stress over your work, stress over your money, stress over your emotional state, and that you're not happy all the time because we have to be stuck on happy, which is, oh God. Yeah, don't get stuck on happy, man. That's a fast way to disqualify a lot of your life. Yeah. But we've got all these things that just stress the hell out of us. And what happens whenever you're stressed? You're looking for solutions. And guess what? Turn on the TV, turn on the radio, whatever, and solutions are right in your face, reminding you of how messed up life is. Yep. You know, that watch you have is perfectly fine that can tell time? Yeah, but it doesn't have this good look to it. It doesn't have the way it goes with the clothes. You need a better watch. Oh, you're feeling pretty down about your car. It's just, you know, it's old, whatever. Come on down. We'll give you a great value on your trade and get you into something else. So, oh, you're having some fights with your husband or your wife. Just don't feel like it's right. Contact us at so-and-so attorney at law. We'll get you divorced. So, feeling purposeless? Join our activism. We got something for you. Yeah, that's the proletarians. That's the problem. The bourgeoisie, the evil capitalists, whatever stupidity that people are being sold, right? It's like, these are your stressors. Come over here, be a part of this thing. You know, the reality is you're being put into a position to go against your own interests most of the time in your life. When you let somebody else tell you how life goes, a lot of times those people are just about what they can get from you. You know, they're trying to extract a little bit. Most of us make it simple by the idea of money. How much money can you separate yourself from right now? And then it's how much can I get them to separate themselves from their money right now? The exchange coupons of their labor. How much of their labor can I get them to exchange with me in those coupon forms? Now, let's get a little mind game with people. Make them think that they have to have something that they don't need. But we got to convince them. Let's market this stuff. No, I'm not coming down on it to say that it's evil. It is part of the economy that we all work through, and it's built into our business structures and how we make money from our businesses if you own them, or if your business itself, or you just work for a company, they got to pay you somehow. It has to have something in the economy. But what I am saying, though, as far as this goes, is like, how exactly do you set yourself up to be able to exist in a way that you're more satisfied in life? The more you buy into stuff that will fix your life, the less satisfied you're going to be. Because it's all you. What are you doing to fix you? How much work are you putting into you to be just content? You know, you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you say, you know what? Jane from work has a nicer ass than I do. Maybe if I get those diet pills, oh, maybe that'll help me. Oh, maybe if I wear this other dress, oh, it'll look better. So it's this constant, I don't like myself. Oh, it's a great practice. I come from fitness. I spent a lot of time in it. You know, well over 10 years in fitness, and I got really good at it. You know, and I really got into the business side of it all. Love the business of it. Because just business itself, I really find it to be kind of a game. It's fun. It's a strategy thing. I really do enjoy it. But a beneficial thing to ask somebody when they want to lose weight or they're starting an exercise journey is to find out the why to their motive. Why do you want to do it? Because I can do it. Absolutely do it. Get you to move more, eat less, you know, burn calorie deficit. We can get to the holistic side of it that actually is far more robust and rewarding and satisfying. So you don't have to have that superficial level the majority of personal trainers go through, which is just the basics of calorie deficit and food tracking and, you know, exercise, you know, whatever. There's a holistic side, which has to do with a lot more detail. You know, exactly what is it? You know, like what's your water levels? What's your stress? Are you getting quality sleep? What kind of foods are you eating? When did you last eat? You know, what level of intensity do you want to work at today? All this. But when I start talking about really the motives, right? Like, so what makes you want to do this? Is it that you're afraid your husband or wife is going to leave you if you don't get in better shape? Did your doctor tell you something that actually shook you up a little bit, made you go, damn it, if I don't do something, I'm going to die, you know, or my health's going to diminish and I may not get it back. You know, I'm not who I used to be in my health. Maybe it's the, you know, I just don't feel appealing. I'm not satisfied with myself when I look in the mirror. Okay, well, there's more to it. Why are you not satisfied with yourself when you look in the mirror? Who are you, really? So I can find out how to motivate you, because it's for the long term. We've all experienced where we know people who have experienced, this wonderful relationship, and then they get married, and then they get out of shape, or you hear that the wife stops doing something the husband likes, if you know what I mean, things like that. And it's like, well, why? What is it that had people shift from who they were before to who they are now? There's a lot of craziness in this, man. It's like, keep pretending to be somebody you're not. Yeah, sure, you're that person when you're dating and you convince yourself of it, but the reality is on a deeper level. If you haven't done that kind of the work necessary to really understand yourself, you're very unlikely to get anywhere with it. You're going to have these repeated cycles. You'll be the story that other people tell other people about, somehow, some way. It's the best thing, in my opinion, is just to control whatever that is going to be, the language that people are going to use about you, like the legacy, your story and how they speak it. That stuff isn't fun. You can control that to a degree that you're the better person that you can be. Looking for love in all the wrong places. That's so common too. Dating, yeah, you're not where you want to be. You're not dating the person you want to date because of these reasons. What good's that? Well, here's a solution. Go and buy it. You can constantly buy shit. Buy away, man. Most of us are. I live fairly minimalistic when it comes to things. There are certain things that I do like that'll help enhance my efforts as far as, like recording or whatever, cleaner sound, better setups, things like that, just to improve on this. But when those dieting things come on, like I've spent a lot of my life studying fitness. I'm versed in it. I don't need to buy people's advice. I bought the education to help get me here. I didn't buy the solution that people are proposing to other people. That was a stage of awareness, but I didn't buy into that and then have somebody else do it for me until I don't do it anymore. And then, I get back to the old results and I come back, 6 months to a year later and buy it again. Just put the work in. I did not avoid, not being in the shape that I want to be in. I didn't go, oh God, for another day, I'll go to it later, another day. And I didn't get into the survive. I've gone through that. I'm not there anymore. I won't do it. I've too developed for it. Go to the survive concept, which is just, let me just get in a little better shape for a bit. Or the doctor told me so, I'm just going to get in better shape too, and then I'll back off of that. No, it's thrive. I want to find excellence in my physical body. It's not because I want people to validate that. It's just for my own experience in life. How do I want this body to be piloted? My maturity of my physical body is what's important to me. It's all 7 areas of maturity are all important to me. But I'm putting forth the effort to accomplish the higher level of maturity in that, in the physical body. It's just on a daily practice. Most people aren't aware of this stuff, man. They mindlessly move through life and do the thing they do. This is just a wake-up call. Wake up. You can hit snooze, go ahead. You'll have more of what you've always had. That's avoiding. You can get up, drag yourself through it just to do it again tomorrow, and deal with the same challenges or same types of challenges because you didn't do anything about the traits that got you there. Or you can say, son of a bitch, I don't like it whenever I get angry so easy. Because the outcome to that anger is what you do with the relationships and how they get to experience you. So they get angry easy. I'm not saying me, because I don't really get angry easy. I'm fairly stoic. It takes a lot to get me there. And whatever I do, man, I love it. I love it because it tells me I've got work to do. I need to look into this. Why did I just go from that place in my mind to the angry? It tells me something. And then I assess what that is and figure out what to do with it. It's simple. So I'm not saying you'll be here tomorrow. And I'm not saying that I'm the top of the pyramid when it comes to this stuff. I'm aware of it. It's a beautiful thing. That's what my mission is, to get other people to be aware of it. So, you want 3 different ways of dealing with conflict? I gave them to you, baby. 3 different ways. And then I gave you 3 different things to help get you there. First off, become aware of what the hell it is about you in the first place. Know the event that got you there. So first, be honest with yourself. You're upset. Fantastic. You're struggling. Fantastic. You're going through something you don't want to go through. Fantastic. Meet it with fantastic, because that gives you access to the next thing, which is, how the hell did I get here? First, assess where you are. This is where I'm at. I've got a moment going on, man. This sucks. Then it's, how did I get here? And after that, how do you work through this in a way that it doesn't bother you the next time? You got to develop those skills, those traits. Because I got a little secret for you. If you think it's going to be easier, once you outgrow this, it will and it won't. Another challenge will come along that's a more evolved challenge that actually is leading you down the pathway of your goals. Because what's on at the end of that, going through all those challenges, is your ability to achieve your goals and your ability to see on the wheel of fortune when opportunities are in your favor and they're right present at that moment. Instead of waiting for the whole wheel to turn, you start realizing that there is opportunities on every part of that wheel. It's how you're developed to see it. Can you see it? Can you? It's always there, always. It's just you don't have the conditioning to see it. And the more you put in this kind of work, the more opportunities you start seeing. It's fascinating. And that's how I actually prefer that to be my reference for the Wheel of Fortune, because it's constantly turning around. It's just some of us are just conditioned enough to see 1 or 2 points on that wheel. The entirety of that wheel, they see 1 or 2 points, and it's just waiting for it to come back around. And they're trying to get themselves in a position that next time that comes around, they will be able to handle that thing because they did enough to be able to survive it in the future. Or you get those people that do it so that they can thrive in the future. Because when you're in that thrive model, you see more and more and more opportunities showing up because you're developing yourself to see it. You start realizing the skills within yourself that are capable of dealing with challenges in life, and before you know it, you can deal with it, and then more things are showing up. And then those more challenging situations that come along, they were going to come along anyway. You just may have had such a challenge that it made you give up if you did not actually go through the process of developing yourself. So had you not developed yourself, that same issue would have had its stages of challenge that came up to you. And you're like, okay, I got enough done that I am surviving this. I'm okay now. And then you go, shit, it's not over. There's something else here. I can't believe that I went through all of that. And this is still there. There's more challenge here, and I don't have it. I can't do it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. That's because you don't have the skills to move through it. And the skills that you do have were so expensive on energy, your overall resources, because they weren't practiced enough to become efficient and proficient in those issues or those challenges. You're like, yeah, it drained you before you got to that next step. But here's the thing, it's okay to do that. It's okay to go through this. It's okay to get beat up like that. It's fine. If you keep pushing through and you say, you know what, I may have just got my butt kicked today. Tomorrow I'm going to be better. Like going to the gym. You go in the gym to kick your own ass. And you're going to keep kicking your ass until you get into the shape you want to be in. And then you kick your ass to stay there. It's a beautiful thing, man. But you got to know how to do it. And know that it's okay to do it. Most of us are taught to avoid. By the way, watch out for the trap of optimism. Because it's good to be optimistic. But there's a trap in optimism you're not aware of. Because the whole idea of toxic people, where they're like, oh, this person's toxic. You know, that idea of toxicity is born out of optimism. When you look at, okay, well, you know what? Positive vibes only. Yeah, guess what? That's out of optimism. Positive vibes. Optimism. Things are going to be better. Be happy now. Choose happiness. There's nothing wrong with those things. The problem is when you get fixed in that mindset, because life is not going to let you be happy all the time. Life's going to give you a lot of opportunities to realize that it's about being dynamically capable of dealing with the situations to survive and then thrive, than it is to be fixed in a world that you think you should be thriving when you don't even have the ability to survive. And then you block things out by going, it's just going to get better. Of course it is. No shit. Life's going to get better. And then it's going to get worse. And then it's going to get better. Then it's going to get worse. It's a fucking roller coaster. The more time you put into developing yourself, the more opportunity that you get to make the roller coaster more fun to be on. No, you get more reward out of it. You're like, yeah, that sucked, but damn, I was actually pretty good at it. I did a good job getting through that. That's awesome. I can't believe I was able to do it. That kind of like reward. But you got to go through the challenges to get there. You got to embrace the suck. You really got to get into it. And before you know it, you're a better person. If you were to qualify that being a better person as the ability to adapt or handle a situation as it's present over the previous time when you weren't able to, then if you qualify that as being a better person, then great, you're a better person. That's another thing, you got to qualify things. But watch out for the trap of optimism. Because if you're going around going, this person's toxic or this person's toxic, you're probably the toxic person. Sure, they may have some values that actually are less than pleasant. But if you're like, the only thing about life is to be happy, figure out how to be happy, be happy. You know what? This isn't Barney anymore, man. We're not like being drunk on happy. And if you're not happy, something's wrong. Well, guess what? Life's going to give you a lot of wrong times, man. A lot of times you're not going to be happy. And then you tell yourself, I'm not happy, something's wrong. Why am I not happy? Well, it's easiest to blame somebody else than, be responsible for why you're where you are. You can give partial responsibility. You can be like, I know I put myself here, but that person's an asshole. Yeah, so what? You are too. May not be an asshole to that person, but you're an asshole to somebody, because being an asshole is a perspective others are allowed to have. I'm an asshole, and I think some people are too. Thing is, though, I don't make it the scarlet letter they can't take off. I look at it as it's a situation you've gone through in life and the way that you decided to behave at that moment based off the resources you have. I'm like, cool, you're an asshole right now. And I may not be the person to humble you. Or may not be the time to be humbled because you're trying to survive and you're an asshole to survive. Or I'm so incredibly sensitive because I believe every single day I'm supposed to be happy, and if I'm not, then I need to label you as toxic. Watch out for your operating systems. What people tell you about how you're supposed to behave and function in life. The more versatile your operating system, the better. You need to have rigidity to keep things in categories, keep things structured. But at the same time, just be careful. Be mindful is actually a better way of putting it. Just be mindful of it. Because, hey, if we want to bring this world up and to the point that we can truly mature to a high level of satisfaction, why don't we do it? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's start working on it. We got plenty of work to do. The world's calling for it. We're being called to action. But here's the thing. If you're not ready to go into action and to create an outcome, you can easily pave a path to hell because of your good intentions. So, takeaways from today's video. How do you handle the conflict or situations that you would call the event that's unpleasant? The thing that you need to handle. I don't like this. I've got a challenge. I don't like this challenge. Challenge coming at me. You can avoid it. You can survive with it or through it, or you can thrive. Pick it. And if you like the sound of thriving, don't think you're there yet, because a lot of people aren't. They're getting there if they keep it up. But if you also put the awareness of how to move it along faster, you're going to get there faster. So, avoid, survive, or thrive. Which model are you functioning in? And then how to get there and how to realize where you are. Like, you first realize the event that's occurring right now. What is it that's happening right now? That is the challenge you're facing. Then, second part, how did you get yourself there? What actions got you there? What skills got you there. And the third, how do you develop those skills to prevent this from happening again? Or to make it that next time it happens, you're so functional you barely realize it happened. Or the realization you have is the joy of overcoming it, not struggling through it. So, the three things. 3 different ways of dealing with challenges. And the 3 steps to get into the Thrive model. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of other stuff, but it's just a conversation, and I'm happy to be one of those people that, man, I love to talk about stuff I'm interested in. So, all right, till next time, I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears. Or search Chad Everett Broshears to some, if you know, you know. And this is the Maturity Project. 8 different areas of maturity. If you don't have them already, you don't have them written down, subscribe to the channel. Put a comment in the comment section that you don't know the 8 areas yet, but you'd like to. And then I'll make sure that we get, we'll exchange emails, or I'll get your email and I'll send you all of them. And a starter pack. Like, how exactly do you qualify where you are with each area of maturity? World's calling for us. We got a lot to do. But we really got to work on ourselves first. So as I've said before, and I've said it in this video, path to hell is paved with good intentions. And right now, our society is paving a super highway to get there. We got to have more interrupters, people that actually can stand in the stream and fight against that fate that I don't want to see us get to. Let's not create hell. All right. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video with people that you want to break the ice with. It's a great way to start a conversation of meaning. And yeah, let's have a great day. Let's get to it. Don't forget, like this video too. Helps the algorithm. All right. See ya. Let's get up to it. Let's get up to something with me. Let's go.